Hello and welcome to A Very Curious Place. Today we are doing a Amazon Originals series review with a twist. Um, we are talking about, and I know you've probably seen the advertisements for it, Snowpiercer, the series. Okay, did you know that Snowpiercer was actually a movie? Yes, it was. In 2014, starring Chris Evans. That's right, Captain America. Um, so Back in 2014, Chris Evans did this movie called Snowpiercer. Basically the same thing as the series, only with a slightly different take on it. Now, I watched the movie Snowpiercer with Chris Evans. Hi, Chris, how you doing? He's not watching this. Um, and I gotta say, the thing that drew me to it was, one, it's an apocalypse movie. Two, Chris Evans is gorgeous. Eye candy never hurts. Um, Sometimes it doesn't help either. Sorry, Chris. I'm so sorry. Um, but yeah, so I watched Snowpiercer, the movie. Um, Chris Evans wasn't bad in it. I'm gonna give him props. He's no Shakespearean actor. I mean, he's pretty. He's pretty. Um, he wasn't pretty enough to help the movie. It was one of those one and done movies. I watched it, I saw it. I don't feel the need to watch it again, but it wasn't bad. Sorry, I just gave the kitten a little bath, and so she's asleep on my lap. Um, but it wasn't bad. Now, the premise of the movie and the series is the same. I'm going to try not to do any spoilers, but I can't make any promises, so we're going to put a potential spoiler review warning on this. Basically, the movie and the series are both based on the same thing, which is this dystopian society where the human race has basically done all sorts of damage to the planet. It's getting hotter and hotter, and they're just destroying it little bit by little bit. Can't relate with that at all, can we? So the people in charge get a bright idea. That should have been a warning right then and there to just say, no, don't do it. Don't do it, because let's be honest, politicians, not exactly smart. Crooks, yes, they're crooks. They're all crooks, but they're not exactly smart. Um, but yeah. So they get this genius idea to shoot these rockets into the atmosphere, and it does some scientific thing, and it's supposed to cool off the planet. Well, it cooled off the planet and sent them hurtling straight into the next ice age. This is why we don't let politicians make serious decisions. Oh, wait. No, we do let politicians make serious decisions, and that's how they screw up everybody else. Okay, yeah, I knew there was something in there. But, so yeah. Now, during all this, there has been one man, Mr. Wilford, of the Wilford Corporation, who saw the potential and knew this was coming. So Mr. Wilford built his train. Now, Mr. Wilford's train is 1,001 cars long. I know, it's a thing. And Mr. Wilford basically created this train to be a constantly moving thing. It never stops. Once it started, it never has stopped. It is continually going. And it is basically an ecosystem within this 1,001 cars. So, sorry, also having an allergic reaction or poison ivy or something, but it's like I'm a mess. I'm so itchy right now. So, so if you see me scratching, it's because of that. So he's built this enclosed ecosystem. I mean, everything. It has farms. It's like almost 200 cars worth of farms of growing plants and food. There's one car that, at least that I know of, there could be more, but there's one car at least that is basically just ocean. It's fish and underwater objects, and because even though it's the apocalypse, you like sushi. I don't, but I'm sure some people, are just like, screw that fire thing. We don't need to cook it. We'll just eat it raw. I want off the bone. No, I'm not a sushi person. So anyway, but it's everything, and the tickets were sold to the really rich and elite. So you've got all these rich people that bought these tickets, and they still want to have their, nails done and their hair done, and you know all these other things. They want to have steam rooms and so on and so forth, massages. And so now you've got the first class, the rich and the elite. And then you've got to have the second and the third class, which is basically all the people that wait on the first class and the rich and the elite. And it really is a structured class system because the richer you are, the closer to the engine you are. Um, Now, before Mr. Wilford's train could be started and start on its trip, um, there's certain people that were like, we're not going to die here. Some of the population got together and they were like, decided to attack the train. This is the series. It's the series and the movie. But they decided to attack the train and get on it so that they could survive. Those people then became called the Talese. That's the thing. Anyway, so the Talese managed to take control of at least 1 to 2 trains in the very, very back. Okay. Um, they're on it. They're basically there, and um, Mr. Wilford apparently was nice enough to consider feeding them. Does he feed them like he feeds any of the other people in the train? No, because they're stowaways, so they get what they get, and they're lucky. Um, Now, in both the movie and the series, there is the talk about the struggle to survive, the struggle to keep fed, um, the struggle to keep their population going of the tailies in the back, and also the struggle to get out of that area and into the engine so they can get control of the train and so they can be treated as well as the others. Um, so that is in both the movie and the series. Now, talking about the series goes a little bit more in depth into it because the series is like long term. So the series twists it into a different way. You see the train through the eyes of this woman who, I forget what they said her name was, but she's basically hospitality, which is a nice way of saying, airline hostess, but on a train. And you see her and the other hospitality people going through their day and dealing with the people and so on and so forth. And the very first episode, because we're on the series now, the very first episode, when you go on Amazon, is free with Prime. So you can get the very first episode of the very first season for free. But if you want the rest of the season, here's where they get you. If you want the rest of the season, you have to pay $22.99. So everything I'm telling you will be from the very first episode. It's all in the very first episode, so it's not any like huge spoilers, like huge hand gestures. So they're talking about, you see the Tailies talking about their plan to get out and how the last plan failed and the punishments that they receive, such as losing an arm. Apparently, one of the punishments the Tailies receive for not obeying Mr. Wilford is to lose an arm. And the last time they had to give up like a certain amount of number of arms off of people. Okay. The other punishment is the drawers. Now, the drawers is basically like cryogenics. They put you in basically what looks like a giant meat locker for people, and you open the door, you pull the drawer out, and it's a person hooked up into all these wires and everything, and it basically keeps you there, alive but suspended, and kind of just in waiting. And so that is the other punishment, to be kept perpetually in the drawers. Not that fun, but I guess better than dead. So, sorry, chicken and the kitten again. Um, it takes you through them talking about that, them, you know, in the process of all that, one man gets yanked out. Turns out this man was a homicide detective before the fall. And apparently, they've had a murder on the Snowpiercer. Well, but also you find out along the way that they haven't had just one murder. 2 years before that, they had another murder, and they put someone in the drawers for it. But that person is still in the drawers. So if that person didn't kill the one 2 years ago, who killed them and who killed the new one? So they pull out this homicide detective to try and find the murderer. And that's kind of where it gets you started, because then there's another attempt to get out of the cars, and it fails badly. So it, it I went in this thinking I didn't really care for the 2014 one. I'm not going to care for the series. Damn you, Amazon. Damn you, Amazon. I liked it. I'm so upset because now it's going to cost me $23 to find out the rest of the season. So yeah, Amazon, you won this one. I'm not happy though. I expected this thing to be crap. I did. I expected it to be crap. I anticipated it to be terrible. Because let's be honest, the movie was not great. It was passable. It was passable. But it wasn't something that, I'd be like, oh my God, it was so awesome. No, it just wasn't. So yeah, it was not. So I did like the one episode of the season I've seen on Snowpiercer, Amazon original series, I actually liked. Dang it. So yeah. Dang it, I'm going to have to give it 2 thumbs up. Well, I'm going to give it 1 thumbs up because the other thumb is holding the baby. So I can't let go of the cat. So, but imagine there's 2. 1 thumb, 2 thumbs. There's 2 thumbs. So, it is a good show. You can watch the movie, on Amazon too, for free, I believe, if you have Prime. Like I said, it's got Chris Evans in it, so it's not all bad. He's pretty, he's got that rough and tumbled bearded look, so it's not bad. But if you want to watch the first episode of this series, you can watch that for free if you have Prime. I'm not sure if you don't have Prime, if they will let you get it for free. I'm not sure how that works because I have Prime. But if you want to watch the rest of the season, you got to pay $23. Sorry. I'm unhappy about this too. And so yeah. But it is a good show. And I know a lot of people are still stuck in quarantine. So, you know what? Here's a new one that you can watch. It is good. It is kind of dark. It takes you from really dark to really light interior sequences and stuff. It's like when you're in the Talese section and in the subsections where all the people are working, it's very dark. And then when you're in the areas where the people are, it's like so bright. It's just really weird. But it is an apocalypse movie. It's kind of like a dystopian type society. It's interesting. So give it a check. Let me know what you think. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay strange, because remember, boring is normal. No. Well, boring is normal, but flip it. Normal is boring. That's it. From myself, Heather, the baby, whose name is Charlie. Yeah, she looks a little bit like a drowned rat right now. She's still partially wet. Do you want to say goodbye, Charlie? You say goodbye. Charlie says goodbye. Charlie says I'm not happy. Charlie says I'm still wet and I still look funky. I don't want to be seen. And from Grace, who is off with the fairies right now. She's like out there. Much love. Take care. Bye.